Good afternoon. So, as I said, Unit 5 comprises of two subtopics or subdivisions. The first one was trees, which we have completed. Now, the second division of your Unit 5 or the second subtopic of your Unit 5 is Boolean algebra, in which we will study the basics of Boolean functions, representing Boolean functions, and logic gates. So, first and foremost, if you remember, what is a Boolean? What do you mean by Boolean value? Boolean value is basically either 0 or 1. So the circuits in computers and other electronic devices have inputs, each of which is either 0 or 1, and produce outputs. So the input is 0 or 1, and the output that it is produced is also 0 or 1. So in the earlier computers and electronic devices, so circuits used to be constructed using any basic element that has two different states. So any circuit has basically two states. One is on state and then the other is off state. Such elements include switches that can be in either the on or the off position. And suppose if you have a bulb or a tube light, so those can also be in only two states. One can be they are lit or unlit. So in this case, in when we are studying about Boolean logic or Boolean algebra, so this part of your syllabus is actually some part of your subject digital electronics. Okay, you have already studied all the topics of this, so I will just cover it briefly so that you know what you are supposed to study when you are covering this topic for your examination. So let's proceed with Boolean functions. So the first topic is Boolean functions. So in 1938, the first basic rules of logic were given, and in 1854 they were given by George Boole, and in 1938 they showed how the basic rules of logic can be used to design circuits. So this was early 20th century, and these rules form the basis for Boolean algebra. So in this topic, we will study the basic properties of Boolean algebra, the operation of a circuit which is defined by a Boolean function, and also the first step in constructing a circuit is to represent a Boolean function by an expression built up by using basic operations, that is, complement, and operation, or operation. And we will also check a few examples for the same in this topic. So here it has started from the book titled The Laws of Thought, written by George Boole. So that is where you have the Boolean derived in 1854. So 19th century, and then in 1938, this person, Claude Shannon, showed how the basic rules of logic can be used to design circuits. The circuit in electronic devices have inputs, each of which is either 0 or 1, and produce outputs that are also 0 or 1. The operation of a circuit is defined by a Boolean function that specifies the value of an output for each set of inputs. So the goal of this chapter or this topic is to describe methods for finding a simplified expression, min number of sums and min sum, min max product, those kind of problems that represents a Boolean function, that is your topic of K-maps, which we have already studied in digital electronics. Okay, so now first and foremost, let's proceed with Boolean functions. Boolean algebra provides the operations and rules for working with the set 0 and 1. So the set is 0 and 1, and the rules of Boolean algebra. The three operations in the Boolean algebra that we use are complement, or you can even call it negation, Boolean sum, that is this, and Boolean product is denoted by dot. Or we can even have the, if you want to understand it by using the discrete mathematics symbol, you know already the negation, Boolean sum is or, Boolean product is and. Okay, so here also complement of an element is denoted with a bar. So we denote it with a bar. So 0 bar, if we do, it will be equal to 1. Okay, and 1 bar will be equal to 0. Okay, that is, we have to take the opposite. Boolean sum is denoted by plus or by or, capital OR. It obeys. You can create your truth table actually. So you will have the values in this way. If I am taking x and y, then 1 1 0 0, true true, false false. So let's go back to the first unit that we have studied. Now this is 1 0 1 0, and then if this will be x plus y. So how should I write it? 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 1 is 1, 0, 0 is 0. If any one of them is true, then true, otherwise false. This is what x or Boolean sum denotes. Here I'll write x and y. Okay, or basically I'll just create another column here. X and y is here and. So this is or, this is and. And will be if both of them are true, then true, otherwise all false. Yes. So this is Boolean product denoted by and. So basically your Boolean of sum and Boolean product is or and respectively. And here the complement Boolean sum and Boolean product correspond to the logical operators negation, or is or, and the and is and, where 0 is your false. Remember this, 0 is basically false and 1 is true. So true is 1 and 0 is false. And equalities in Boolean algebra can be directly translated into equivalences of compound propositions. We have studied logical equivalence in Unit 1. So the same can be applied to Boolean algebra also. Also, equivalences of compound propositions can be translated into Boolean algebra. We have a table which we will see later. For now, let's see an example. Find the value of one Boolean product 0 plus this. So first and foremost, anytime you are solving a Boolean algebra problem, if parentheses are used, so first priority is for parentheses. I am writing about priority. Which one you are supposed to solve first? So if parentheses are there, first will be the priority to parentheses. That is, this is also known as precedence. Which you have studied in even C language, which operator should have the highest precedence. So parentheses will get the highest precedence. Then second will be complement. And then third we will have Boolean products. That is and operation should be done next. And finally, the last priority will be for Boolean sum. Now here, for this problem, the solution, just ignore the solution and look over here. 0 plus 1 bar. So first we have to solve this. 0 plus 1 will be 1. 1 bar will be, so let me just write it. 0 plus 1 bar. So first parenthesis we have to solve. So what is inside the parenthesis? It is 0 plus 1, which will be equal to 1. So 1 bar. 1 bar will be equal to 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. So what is, after solving this, I got 1, then I have to solve the Boolean product. 1 bar will be 0, and then you have to solve the Boolean product, which will be 0, and 0 plus 0 is 0. Okay, so let me just write what you are supposed to solve first. Yeah, so first you'll have to solve this part. Then when you get the result for that, because you have a complement, you will have to solve second this one. Then third you will have to solve this, and then finally you have to produce the sum, which is fourth you have to solve this. So this is the precedence or the priority given to Boolean operators. Next we have Boolean expressions and Boolean functions. So let b is equal to 0, 1, then bn is given as x1, x2 and so on up to xn, such that xi belongs to capital B for I lies between 1 and n. The variable x is called a Boolean variable if it assumes value only from b, that is 0 or 1. A function b power n to b is called the Boolean function of degree n. Okay, so first for that we will see basically this is a definition for any kind of Boolean function. So before seeing that we will see over here another example. So translate this equation into logical equivalence. So for this, each one should be written as true, Boolean product should be written as and 0 should be written as false. Then plus should be written as or. Complement should be written as negation. 0 is false or true. So this is your Boolean value in logical equivalence. Similarly, can you translate this true and true or negation false is equivalent to true. So this can be written as, this is 1, so 1 logical and, that is our and is written as Boolean and, then again 1, or is plus negation of f will be complement of 0, which will be equivalent to 1. So 1 into 1 plus 0 complement again 1, which is equivalent to 1. Now after that, let's see another example. The function f of x comma y is equal to xy bar from b square xy is given as such that xy belongs to 0 comma 1 and 0 comma 1 is a Boolean function. So with what will be the values? So x value is 1 1 0 0, y value is 1 0 1 0. What is the function given as x y bar? So I have to find y bar also. Y bar will be 0 1 0 1. Then what is x y bar? X into y bar. So 1 0 will give you 0. 1 0 will give you 0. 1 1 will give you 1. Again 0 0. So here what is b square? X comma y such that x comma y belongs to either 0 comma 1 product 0 comma 1. So f of 1 comma 1 x comma y is equal to what? 0. F of 1 comma 0 is 1, and you can see the rest over here. I have mentioned it over here. Now find the values of the Boolean function represented by f of x comma y comma z is equal to xy plus z bar. So we can take a table. So if you remember, I said if you have 3 variables, this is what I said in logical equivalence. If you have 3 variables, then you will have 8 rows because you will get total 2 cube 8 combinations. So similarly, you are supposed to say the same way. You will have to create a table how you do it in unit 1 and try to solve it. Please pause your video, take the question and solve it by yourself, and you can verify the answer. Now after that we have Boolean identities. So Boolean identities is basically how we had identities in logical equivalence, how we had identities. All of the same identities can be written in Boolean algebra, and these identities are useful in simplifying the design of circuits. And here the identities are given as follows. So the law of double complement is x complement whole complement will give you x. So if you remember, law of double negation law was a bar whole bar was written as negation of negation a was equal to a. So the same thing is written over here. Then we have idempotent laws. X plus x will give you x, x into x will give you x. Identity laws. So 0 is the additive identity and 1 is the multiplicative identity. Then we have domination laws, commutative, associative. The same laws that we have studied in unit 1, which I have explained it in detail in the while I was teaching unit 1. Please refer back. Instead of using and or negation, we have changed the symbols to complement, plus and Boolean product. That's it. So the same laws can be verified. We have De Morgan's law as we had earlier, absorption law, unit property, zero property. So you, instead of unit property and zero property in unit 1, try to recollect what. So both of these combined were our negation laws in unit 1. Here they are differently written as unit property and zero property. What you can do is you can either check each of those laws by creating a table to verify the laws. Otherwise, it is alright even if you don't, and just remember these laws, which will be important if you want to try to solve the problem. Next, what we will do is we will try to take the next, show that the distributive law by solving here using a table. It is given as follows. So you have to verify this one and these So the values in both the columns are same. Now the next topic is duality. So the dual of a Boolean expression is obtained by interchanging Boolean sums and Boolean products and interchanging zeros and ones. So if you have been given a Boolean expression, I'll take this expression x into y plus 0. Then the Boolean can be then the dual of that expression can be obtained by, instead of the sum, I have to replace it with the product, and instead of 0, I have to replace it with 1 and vice versa. So for this, x will remain as it is, x into y plus 0, right? So I will have to change this into plus. Y will remain as it is, plus will be changed to Boolean product, 0 is interchanged with 1. Similarly for this one, let me do it over here. So x bar will remain as it is, into 1 into will change to plus, that is Boolean product will change to Boolean sum, 1 will be interchanged with 0, then plus will be removed and we will write a product, y bar will remain as it is, plus will be changed with the Boolean product and then z. So these are the duals for our expression. The duality principles enable to obtain more identities, since an identity between functions represented by Boolean expressions remain valid when the duals of both sides of the identity are taken. So over here, if you notice, this expression is the dual of this. So x is remaining as it is, plus is changed to into, x bar is remaining as it is, 1 is changed by 0. So if in this way, duals, whenever we perform duals on expression, it will help us to get more identities. Now, the last topic of the first part of your unit is abstract definition of Boolean algebra. A Boolean algebra is a set B with two binary operations, OR and AND, elements 0 and 1, and a unary operation, negation, such that all these properties hold for x, y, and z. So Boolean algebra is basically we are combining the properties of your equivalence, propositional equivalence, and also Boolean values. So here, instead of using plus and Boolean product and Boolean sum, I am using the 0 and sorry, not 0, I am using the OR and symbols. So for this, x or 0 will give us x and 1 will give us x. So this, instead of 0, 1, if you replace it with true and false, it will be basically your logical equivalences of unit 1. So try to verify the same, and using the laws, what we can do is, the set of propositions and n variables with the OR and AND operators, false and true, and the negation operator also satisfies all the properties of Boolean algebra. Similarly, the set of subsets of a universal set with the union and intersection operator, the empty set and the universal set, and the set complementation operator is basically a part of Boolean algebra. So we can even change the result by applying union intersection of our sets, the topic sets, and we can write the same laws again with respect to Boolean algebra. Next, the next topic is representing. Now we have studied Boolean algebra. Now in this topic we will study two important problems of Boolean algebra. The first problem is, given the values of a Boolean function, how can a Boolean expression that represents this function be found? So values of Boolean function are given. Then how can we find a Boolean expression representing this values? Boolean expression representing this value. And the next thing is, the second question is, if there is smaller set of operators that can be used to represent all the Boolean functions. Okay, so instead of using a lot of operators, can we minimize or lessen the number of operators? So smaller set of operators to represent Boolean function. Now what does this mean? Here, given the values, so the two problems are as follows. Given the values of a Boolean function, how can a Boolean function expression that represents this function be found? Is there a smaller set of operators that can be used to represent all Boolean functions? Now, the sum of products expansion, find a Boolean expression that represents a Boolean function given f of xyz and g of xyz. So here we have been given two functions f and g, and I want a Boolean expression that represents this f and g. So for f, if you see, the only value 1 is at this row. So let me just draw it clearly. Here we have the only value which represents this row for f, and for g, for g the value 1 is at this row. We have to exclude this f. This should not be taken, and also another value is over here. This row here we have a 1. Okay. Now an expression for f that has the value. An expression for f that has the value 1. So f has the value 1. Let me write that. When does f have the value 1? What is the x value? X is equal to z is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. And for all the other cases, the value is 0. So for this, we need an expression to represent f. So how can we find an expression? Such an expression can be found by taking x, z and y bar. Okay. Now the product, so we can take the product x, y bar, z. What is the value? It has the value 1 if x is equal to y bar is equal to z is equal to 1. Okay. Y bar is 1 means y is equal to 0. So this will have the value 1. Okay. So in this case, x is equal to z is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. Then you will get the expression x, y bar, z is equal to 1. And in all the other cases, it should be 0. Now what about g? G, when does it have the value? G has the value 1 at two cases. The first case is x is equal to y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 0. And the second case is x is equal to z is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1. How can we write it? We can write it in this way. X, y, z bar plus x bar, y, z bar. Okay. So this represents the statement or the function g, while this represents the function f. Okay. So here the Boolean sum, why are we adding these two products? Because the Boolean sum of the two products, g has 1 in two places. So the Boolean sum of these two products represent g because it has the value 1 if and only if x is equal to y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 0, or x is equal to z is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1. So this example basically gives us a procedure of constructing a Boolean expression representing a function with the given values. Each combination of values of the variables for which the function has the value 1 leads to a Boolean product of the variable or their complements. So basically we are constructing a Boolean function. Now the next thing is to form a Boolean expression. Yeah, this is the solution for the problem. So if you notice here, to form the Boolean expression for the function f of x comma y comma z, we need to look at the table and notice that f has the value 1 if and only if x and z are 1 and y is 0. Otherwise, for all the other cases, f has the value 0. So f of x comma y comma z is given as x, y bar, z. Now the next thing is the same for g, you can just read it. Now we have the definition. Illiteral is a Boolean variable or its complement. So illiteral is basically x or x bar if you are taking y or y bar. A minterm of the Boolean variables x1, x2 and so on up to xn, this is not equal to x1, x2 and so on up to xn, is a Boolean product y1, y2 and yn where yi is equal to xi or yi is equal to xi bar. Hence, a minterm is a product of n literals with each one literal of each variable. The minterm is 1 if and only if each yi is 1 and therefore xi is 1. So basically your minterm will be 1 when each and every term of your y is 1, and obviously then x will also be equal to 1 whenever, because your condition is yi is equal to xi and xi will be equal to 0 when yi is equal to xi bar. Now with respect to this, let's take a problem. Find a minterm that equals 1 if x1, x3 are 0 and x2, x4, x5 are 1 and equals 0 otherwise. So we know that whenever x1, x3 are 0, it means we have to take x1 bar and x3 bar. Okay. So by taking the values, the minterm will be x1 bar into x2, x3 bar, x4, x5. Minterms are used to determine the Boolean expression of a Boolean function in a table. Now here, the minterms in this Boolean sum correspond to those combination of values for which the function has the value 1. The sum of minterms that represents the function is called the sum of products expansion or the disjunctive normal form. So this is whenever we are representing the minterms in such a way that we are taking the sum of minterms or the sum of product form, then this is called disjunctive normal form. I believe we have studied sum of product, product of sum in digital electronics already, so I won't go into much detail for that. Now find the sum of product expansion for the function x plus y into z bar. So x plus y into z bar will be given as x z bar plus y z bar. Then what we are doing, we are using the identity law. So we are introducing x into 1 will give us x again. Okay, x into 1 will give us x again, or xz bar into 1 will give us xz bar again. So here in both the terms I am using, let me just mention it. This is your distributive law, and these laws should be written definitely. Those are very, very important. That is the reason I am mentioning it in the video. And this is your identity law. Now instead of 1, I can replace it with y plus y bar, since I want to introduce the y term in this one, and here I want to introduce the x term because it is missing. So this will be your unit property. That is, if you remember, I said unit property and zero property are both negation laws. That, and then we multiply x, y, z bar. So this again will be your distributive law. And finally, here if you notice, x, y bar, z we have over here, and then again we have x bar, y, z bar. So in this case, let's see, x, y, z bar and x, y, z bar, they are exactly the same. So u plus u is equal to u, or you can even say that this is idempotent law. So all the laws that I am mentioning here are very, very important. So this is your sum of products expansion for the given function here. Now next, instead of using all the laws, I can also use my minterm technique. What I'll do is I will try to find the I'll try to create the table for the given function. So it was x plus y into z bar. So here, what are the values I got 1 at? I will take those, and at on which rows are those valid? Let's take this. Then what I can do is, so x, when xy is 1 and z is 0, I got a 1. So this will be xyz bar plus, here x is 1, the rest 2 are 0. So x y bar z bar plus x bar y z bar because x and z are 0 while y is 1. So this is here using the second solution, or you can say another way to write the solution for your sum of products is using the table. You can take the table, whatever values have 1, accordingly you can check the values for x, y, z and take their resulting solutions. Now instead of this we can also find the product of sum. So for product of sum, what you are supposed to do is to find a Boolean expression that represents Boolean product of sum. This is called either conjunctive normal form also, and what you can do is instead of this you can, for this sum of product, this is your sum of product, right? If you take dual for the same, do dual for sum of product, you will get product of sum. Or you can even use your table again to find out. So that is an activity for yourself because we don't have it in the syllabus. You will get simple problems based on sum of x. Now the next thing is functional completeness. So every Boolean function can be expressed as a Boolean sum of min terms, as we have seen. Each min term is the Boolean product of variables or their complements. This shows that every Boolean function can be represented using these three operators. So this set is basically known as your functionally complete set. Okay, the Boolean product, Boolean sum and negation or complementation is a functionally complete set. Now the question is, can we find a smaller set of functionally complete operators? We can do so if one of the three operators can be expressed in terms of the other two. This can be done using De Morgan's law. One of the De Morgan's law provides the solution. So instead of x plus y, I can write it as x bar into y bar whole bar. Okay. So what will be x bar into y bar whole bar? So basically I'm doing complement on the entire thing. So it will be x bar plus y bar. So x plus y. Okay. So I am using two operators and getting only one single operator. So if one of the three operators can be expressed in terms of the other two, then it means we can do this. We can perform. We can find a smaller set of functionally complete operators. Similarly, for the other case of De Morgan's law, you can do the same. So apart from that, we have also found sets containing two operators that are functionally complete. So you know about NAND operator and NOR operator. It's not in the syllabus, it is just an introduction. The NAND operator and the NOR operator. You can check the same in your digital electronics, but for now you don't need these operators. Now the final topic of your syllabus is logic gates. Boolean algebra is used to model the circuitry of electronic devices. Each input and each output of such a device can be thought of as a member of the set 0, 1. A computer or other electronic device is made up of number of circuits. Each circuit can be designed by using the rules of Boolean algebra that we have studied. So the basic elements of these circuits are called as gates. So the basic element of these circuits are called gates. Each type of gates implements a Boolean operation. We will see different type of gates here. So all circuits provide output that depends only on the input and not on the current state of the circuit. These circuits that have no memory capabilities are called combinational circuits or gating networks. Combinatorial circuits are built using three types of elements: inverter, OR gate and AND gate. So basically here inverter is your complement. It accepts the value of one Boolean variable as input and produces the complement of this value as its output. This is the symbol for inverter shown here. So it takes x and it gives x bar, that is the complement. The input to the inverter is on the left side entering the element and the output is on the right side leaving the element. So x bar is over here. Next we have OR gate. It accepts as input values of two or more Boolean variables. So it can take two or more than two Boolean variables. The output is the Boolean sum of the variables which have been given as the input. So here we use the symbol, the output is the symbol used for an OR gate is this. So it is basically shown here. Yeah, this is the symbol for OR gate. These two inputs are shown by the arrows. This is the input X, the input Y, and the output will be X plus Y, the Boolean sum. Sorry, the complement won't come. Yeah, so this should be arranged. So the output is X plus Y. Now the next is AND gate. The input to this gate are the values of two or more Boolean variables. So just remember, in the inverter, basically we will have only one input and we will get the output as the complement. In OR gate and AND gate, we need to have two or more than two inputs. So AND gate is here shown. So the difference is AND gate is written this way, while OR gate is written in this way. Okay, and AND gate will take two or more outputs and give the product of those two Boolean variables as its output. Now after that, as I said, we can have more than two inputs. We can have minimum two and more than two inputs for both AND and OR gate. So here, these are the way it is shown. This is your AND gate and you are giving n inputs and you are getting the product of those n variables as the output. So this is the AND gate, while this is the OR gate where you are giving n inputs and you are getting the Boolean sum as the output for the same. So gates with n inputs. The next is the combination of gates. Combinational circuits can be constructed using a combination of inverters, OR gates and AND gates. When combinations of circuits are formed, some gates may share input using branching. So here the figure is shown. So here, if you notice, we are taking two AND gates and to one of the AND gates I am providing a inverter, that is I am trying to give the complement X bar Y, and at the final solution is I want to get the Boolean sum of these two Boolean products that I have received. So XY, you will get the Boolean product, and here X bar Y. Then finally XY plus X bar Y will be the final solution. And the other way to draw the same circuit is from this input, you are taking the inputs for this AND gate also and providing an inverter here. So these are the two ways to draw the same circuit. Apart from that, in this you will have construct the circuits for the given Boolean equations, and after that you have two topics which are half adder and full adder, and I would like you to complete these topics by yourself because these are the basic topics of your digital electronics subjects, and with this we can conclude our unit 5.